First-time jobless claims rose again last week. That's according to new data from the Labor Department. Initial claims reached 218,000 for the week ending November 25th. That's up 7,000 from the previous week. The number of people in the U.S. collecting unemployment is now at its highest level in 2 years.
A new Bankrate survey finds about 2 in 3 employed Americans received a pay raise since October of last year. However, 60% of workers say their income has not been enough to keep up with inflation. More than half of those who got a pay bump said their pay lost ground to inflation. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger is here with us now. Jill, it's good to have you in Studio 57.
Yeah, well,
because I always see you in 1515.
But, you have not been here when I've been here.
Really?
I've missed you. I walked onto the set. I said the dream team is here.
You did say that. All right, so let's dig into this. So according to Bankrate, the numbers suggest that workers say that their income is not able to keep up with the rate of inflation. There are some things that are cheap, but then there are other things that are kind of expensive.
Well, I think that we have to remember that each person's situation is so different, and I think that we conflate a lot of things. So let me give you an example of this. I can tell you right now that wage growth is outpacing inflation through the last month of data. Sounds great, but it has nothing to do with any person sitting at home who says, wait a second, Jill. Yeah, I did get a wage increase over the last year, but for the 2 years before that, when inflation was bubbling up, I couldn't keep up. I had to spend down my savings. I did go into more debt. That debt costs me more money now, and now I feel crunched. So I think that we have to recognize that there are a lot of things that are going on right now. Yes, goods inflation has come down. We just got a report out this morning from the government, and we saw really good trends in inflation. Goods coming down, services still up. But when I look at this thing, it's a silly thing called the PCE index. Just think it's the Fed's way they love to look at inflation. And that is showing in the last 6 months on an annualized basis, inflation's running at about 2.5%. The previous 6 months to that, it was 4.5%. So you could see how people are not living in the real time with the data like I am. They are saying, here's how I feel. This is what it's been like for me. Right. My wages, yeah, I might have gotten a bump early on, but I had to spend a lot of it. So I understand a lot of those feelings.
I think more than half of the people who were surveyed said that they did, as you point out, receive a pay bump. It was less than 5% or so. I don't know if this is just answered with the numbers, but what sort of pay increase would you need to get to feel like you're keeping up with inflation?
Well, we just get this number out here that overall inflation, okay, it's running at about, let's call it 3 or 3.2% from a year ago, okay? And you pull out food and energy, it's like 3.5%. Okay, great. So you would say, well, I need at least a 3.5% increase.
Right.
It does not account for the fact that there are certain items in this report, in every inflation report, that are hard for families, like health insurance, like car insurance, like car. It's like if I didn't have to buy a car and I'm a fixed rate mortgage, and I had to pay higher prices for energy last year, now they're down this year, I feel pretty good.
Right.
But if you're a renter and you had to go buy a car and you had to go insure that car, those prices are still high.
That's what I was saying
earlier. And they don't come back down.
No.
Like health insurance they don't give you a discount.
This is why it's so topsy-turvy. This is why, even though, as I mentioned at the top of the show, the president's advisors will get on and they'll say this was the biggest Black Friday sales day ever. But things are weird. So you're right. Like rents are up, but gas prices are down. But car insurance is up. Ticket prices for airlines are down. But we're living in this like weird,
And I think this is extremely common when you've had a massive dislocation. So I have said this over and over.
Meaning the pandemic.
Yes. This is not just, oh, we had a recession. Oh, this is not just we had an event like, oh, yes, there was a boat stuck in the middle of our shipping route. We couldn't get the stuff. This is a once-in-a-century event where the entire world shut down at different points over the course of 3 years. We have experienced nothing like it. I believe that we are kind of emotionally singed from the experience. And I think the inflationary period coming out of that moment where you're finally like, I can spend money, and that euphoria of being able to be with your friends and your family, you spend with a bit of reckless abandon. And now you're kind of resetting yourself. And I think that a lot of the surveys that are showing talk about confidence and feelings, they don't jibe exactly with what people are doing. So what we see in confidence readings is people say, I feel lousy still. It's inflation. I'm not getting as big a pay raise. But then you look at the numbers and you're like, oh, they're spending a lot of money. Maybe not as much as they did this summer, but they're spending money. I think the key to all of this will be the resilience of the job market. If the job market stays strong, and we are, listen, we are seeing unemployment rate drift up, but we still have positive job creation. As long as people have jobs and we have a big labor force, people will keep spending money. It is the moment when you start to see people lose jobs, that's when I think people are really going to retrench and stop their spending. So far, so good on the jobs front. It's slowing down, but I can see little pieces where I could see little bits of data coming in showing a little pullback, a little bit slower this month. We saw that in retail sales. And, before we go nuts with the holiday season, okay, it was a great spending weekend per se, but the season is not over, and a lot of that money was generated with huge discounts.
Right.
And so we'll see how we come out.
And people are putting stuff on credit cards.
People are
depleting their savings from the pandemic.
Buy now, pay later, which is huge. So we'll see how this all lands when we come into the next quarter and where the numbers end up. It's sort of silly to prognosticate. I always think it's funny when people are like, what do you think about retail season? I'm like, how do I know? It'll be what it'll be. But what we do know is people are feeling very different depending on their particular situations. And I've never seen anything like that in the economy.
That makes sense. Jill Schlesinger, always great having you.
Thanks for
Always
coming
great to
by,
be here.
Jill.
Dream team.
Yes.